chime in and ask particular questions, because I like to be quite interactive. Normally when I do this on Clubhouse, I think Dawn, you remember I did a session on Clubhouse and it was quite interactive. People were asking questions. The questions are good for everybody because everybody has different questions. No question is a stupid question. I don't claim to know everything, but I've been in the space long enough to be able to answer a few different questions. And I have minted a few of my own items and I've been party to a number of different experiences. So it's a learning experience, definitely NFTs, but let's use this as an opportunity to kind of ask questions, share information, etc. And if you don't get what you want from this particular section, I'm open to people contacting me afterwards, either directly or through Dawn, and then we can basically just talk about maybe stuff that you are planning to do. So this session, what's the hype? What's it all about? Yeah, what is this hype that everybody's talking about with NFTs? You'll probably have a lot of people over the last couple of months talking about NFTs, people making money, artists doing different things, musicians doing different things. Loads of people talking about this new technology that's going to change the art and the music industry. But before we go there, who am I? So my name is Chris Ogunsalu. I've been in the technology industry for probably about 20, 30 years, well, say 30 years, since I was a young nipper. Started off as a programmer. I've done a lot of different things. My passion is music and technology. So everything to do with music and technology, I'm always all over it. I love technology. I love reading about it. I love playing with it. I love finding out about new technology and what it does and how it works. And I love playing with new technology. NFTs. So I first heard about NFTs probably about 4 years ago. But over the last 3 months, I've kind of really immersed myself with learning everything and just doing it. And I've been joining a number of different meetings, mixing with a few different people in that space, and essentially immersing myself in that whole particular space. Today we'll probably cover what NFTs are. We'll cover some success stories of who's had some success in the NFT arena. Obviously, we'll talk about what an NFT is. We'll talk briefly about how you can actually create an NFT. The process, where you can go to do that, and the steps. We'll talk briefly about marketing, and we'll talk about some of the NFT galleries. Those are some of the topics. And if there's topics that I don't cover, by all means, ask away. And if we've got the answers, we will go through them. Yeah. So first thing is, let's get the technical jargon out of the way, because people always talk about technical jargon. So what is an NFT? An NFT is basically described as a non-fungible token or a unique digital item which sits on a blockchain, managed, and essentially the person who creates the NFT is the owner of the NFT. Examples include collectibles, games, items, digital art, tickets, domain names, even physical items and physical assets can be an NFT. Now, aside from the technical term of a non-fungible token, essentially what people are doing is they are creating NFTs, non-fungible tokens, out of digital art. Now, that digital art or that digital asset can be a number of different things. That can be anything from a photo. So loads of us have taken photos. You have photographers who take pictures. You have musicians who create music. You have gamers who buy digital gaming tokens. You have event tickets. Anything digital can be turned into a non-fungible token. And that process of creating the NFT is actually quite simple. You will hear a lot of terms over the next couple of months in your NFT journey. Some of the terms will be blockchain, minting, NFT as you put it. You'll hear all these terms. Now, you'll also hear terms like Ethereum, gas charges, loads and loads of different terms that will probably confuse you. Now, the thing that I want you to kind of just realize is, the way that I'm going to try and simplify it is, imagine you have either a photo or a digital MP3 or asset, and you put that on a secured database. And as a result of doing that, a special token is actually created. That token will have information of the data and the details that basically correspond to what you have put on that database. That database will be known as the blockchain. So essentially, you can put on a digital item, a photo, picture, MP3 on this database, and you have a number of details, which basically might include the title, might include the price, it might include some description of what the item is, and that constitutes to your NFT. Yeah, and essentially that's what it is. But the point is, you can now sell this digital item. Before, if you look at traditional art is, okay, I draw a picture and I find a collector and I sell to that particular collector. Now with NFTs, what you can actually do is you can take a picture of your physical art, or you can have an MP3 or digital asset. You can put it on the blockchain and you can sell that asset to millions of people all over the world. Millions of people are using NFTs as an entry into selling their digital art. And that digital art, as I said, could be any sort of digital asset, whether it's a picture, whether it's a ticket, whether it's a collectible item, anything that you can think of can be made into an NFT. Okay, so what is the real hype? So I'm gonna reel off a couple of success stories. So one success story that you will hear a lot of people talking about is this guy called Blau. And essentially, Blau did an NFT, which was like a special music drop, which essentially was him putting together an album with some unreleased tracks. So not only just unreleased tracks, but he also offered things like collectible items, t-shirts, also offered entry into his studio to come and watch how he produces his music. And also, I think he also offered some people access to some exclusive content, some exclusive access to his concerts. And essentially, he sold those NFTs for £11.7 million. He also had the Kings of Leon. Now, I don't know too much about the Kings of Leon. I know they're a big music group, but they sold their NFT for £2 million. Tory Lanez, which is an R&B rap artist, he created an NFT which essentially allowed him to basically release some unreleased music to exclusive fans. So those fans were basically, they call it the die-hard fans. They went and bought his NFT and got access to exclusive music, exclusive merchandise, and exclusive digital artwork. And he sold that for, I think it was about £400,000. My daughter, 9 years old, Amelia, she's hiding somewhere. She's a bit shy, but essentially what she did is she did a piece of art. She came to me and said, "Oh, Dad, look at this piece of art." And I said, "Oh, this is fantastic. Let me have a look at this." I then created an NFT for her, and essentially took me about 15 minutes. And that NFT was then sold. So another success story, 9-year-old daughter of mine literally did a piece of art on her iPad. I saw it and said, "You know what, let's make this into an NFT." And then essentially we sold it. I won't tell you the price. It wasn't £2 million, but it was a nice little piggy bank contribution. Let's put it that way. See, Andrew's laughing, thinking, "Ah, that's cute." Yeah, but it was only a few dollars. But you know what? She's only 9 years old, and at the end of the day, it just proves that anybody can create an NFT. Doesn't matter how old you are, and make some money from it. And there's loads of other different stories. I won't go into loads, but there's loads and loads of different stories. Okay, so me just try that. Right. I'm going to pause there. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. Right. So what I want to do is, I hope you can see what is on the screen. And the reason why I'm showing you what's on the screen is because somebody sent me this and I thought, okay, you know what, this is actually quite good, because a lot of people have questions about NFTs. Some people want to get into it, some people don't. So I'm going to go through this with you. NFTs, right? Do you believe creativity has value? Right? Now, the argument here is, if you don't believe that, then you shouldn't be looking into NFTs, because all creative processes have some sort of value. Whether you're painting, whether you're in the studio making music, it has a value. Now, that value depends on obviously the buyer, obviously the person that's collecting it, the person that's buying it, what are they prepared to pay? Next question on this is, do you believe artwork has limits? I don't believe any artwork has limits. These days, you got 3D art, you got traditional art, you got contemporary art, you got loads of different types of art styles. They all have no limits. It depends on what you want to do. Again, I'm going to put it to you guys, an NFT can be any sort of digital art. You need to open up your mind to any form of art that you have actually done and think, okay, I can create an NFT from it, but the question is how? Yeah. Okay. So question is, how do you actually get started? Yeah. Now, creating an NFT really only takes about 15 minutes. 1 second. I'm just going to remove my camera for a second. Right. So creating an NFT probably takes about 15 minutes. It doesn't actually take that long, right? But what do you actually need to create an NFT? Now, some of you in today may want to do this as we're talking. Yeah, but I'm going to just reel it off and kind of give you some of the steps. So for example, you need a bank, right? Why do you need a bank? So when you're creating an NFT, you will need, in most cases, not all the cases, you will need Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is what people use to buy and sell NFTs. So from a buyer's point of view, if I wanted to buy an NFT, I would basically need to go to a coin exchange and buy some Ethereum. So call it, there's various exchanges. So you've got Coinbase and you've got Binance, and there's probably thousands of other exchanges. But essentially, before you can buy any Ethereum, you would need to go to one of those exchanges and buy it. You would also need what we call a wallet, yeah, a digital wallet. Now, one of the wallets that I would advise people to use is one called MetaMask. Now, the MetaMask wallet, you can download that from, you can search MetaMask from Google. You can go to metamask.io, right? That is the known one, metamask.io. You can also download it from your iPhone and Android app stores, and you can download that wallet. When you have a MetaMask wallet, that gives you the opportunity to now go into a different number of called galleries to mint your NFT or to buy NFT. Now, I've just used a word called mint, which is like a term used in the NFT world to create and put your NFT onto the blockchain. Now, without thinking too much of what it actually means in technical terms, essentially, let's say, for example, you had a picture that you've taken and you wanted to create an NFT of that. Yeah. To that process of taking that picture and putting it onto some of the galleries such as Openc, Rarible, Mintable, Cargo, and Mintbase.io is called minting. Now, essentially, that's you taking your picture or your piece of art and putting it onto the blockchain and then making it available for sale. Okay, so I'm going to pause there again and ask you guys, do you have any questions? Because this is very important that you guys ask questions and be interactive. Otherwise, it'll be quite hard for you to get the value for it. So I'm going to go around the table, right? I'm going to start off with, let's say, Andrew. Andrew, do you want to take yourself off mute for a second? Okay, I think you might be off on mute. Ask to unmute. So guys, I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself, and the reason why I want you to unmute yourself because I want to speak to you guys and really find out, you know, what's your, you know, where are you in your particular journey. So okay, is there anybody else that can unmute themselves? Okay, Andrew might be having a problem. So how about the rest of you guys? Dawn?
Yeah, I'm here.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So let me pick on Dawn for example. So Dawn, and I want individuals to chime in. Right. Hi. Good. So guys, we're going to keep this interactive because I think the best thing is I'm not one to just throw up loads and loads of slides because I think sometimes slides can be distracting. So I want the audience to get engaged and kind of like get value from today. So to get this value, right, we're going to ask you to unmute and we're going to go around the table to kind of get you guys to kind of tell us what you know about NFTs and what you do in the art world. So I'm going to start off with Dawn. So Dawn, tell me about yourself and in 1 minute. So we'll give everybody 1 minute to talk about where they are in this NFT space. And I'm going to start with Dawn.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. There's
yes, we can hear you.
Bit of a wave going on here. Like, can you hear some, like we're by the seaside? Can you hear it?
Yeah,
anyway.
Don't worry about it, Dawn. We can hear you clearly.
All right. Well, my creative side is mainly designing websites, but I also design patterns for fabrics and rugs and so on. So I do like to make new designs. And I've also recently got into video as well. So those are my avenues. I have an interest in music from the point of view of, you know, there are various musicians around me, and I think people are looking for ways of earning more with their art and with their music without having to go through their particular channels that they're going through now, particularly music, where you get 0.000 whatever per stream of your music, whereas if you can sell it direct to the listener, direct to the fans, then musicians would actually do much better using NFTs. So certainly from the art point of view and the music point of view, I'm very much interested to know more.
Okay, so let me just pick on what you just said, Dawn, and we'll do this for everybody. So Dawn, in your case, you mentioned music. So let's look at so as a musician at the moment, if I wanted to release a track, what I would normally have to do is I would go on to one of the aggregators and I would basically publish my music to, let's say, iTunes, Spotify, or one of the, or Amazon, or one of the many aggregators. Now that's all great because I can basically sell my music to thousands of people worldwide. But the problem that I have with that is, for me to now get paid, I have to wait for my royalties to come in, and I also may have to wait 6 months, get 1 million streams before I get any money. Now, NFTs change the game with that. So let's say, for example, me as a musician now, what I can do is I can create an NFT. Now, forget the technicals, guys, of how you create an NFT, because believe me, it's easy. It takes about 15 minutes to create an NFT. But let's use music as an example. Right. So if I'm a musician, right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to produce a couple of tracks. I might produce maybe 3 exclusive tracks or I might produce an album worth of tracks that I'm going to create as an NFT. And I'm basically going to produce a bit of artwork, just like you normally do, the artwork that you see on Spotify. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go on to various platforms such as Rarible, Mintable.app, Openc. There's loads, guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this NFT. Now, how does that benefit me? I'll tell you how it benefits me. When you create an NFT and put it on one of these platforms, the people that are buying it, the buyers, once they buy that NFT, you get instant payment, right? You don't wait one day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 6 weeks to get millions of streams. Any person that now downloads your NFT, right, will basically pay in what we call at the moment Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is a cryptocurrency, and essentially Ethereum can be converted from the Ethereum cost now. So Ethereum is worth probably about 1,500 for each Ethereum. And you can sell your NFT for whatever you like. You can sell it for 1 Ethereum, half of Ethereum, 10 Ethereum, whatever. But essentially, if you convert that to money, you can convert Ethereum and say, right, I'm going to put my album up for, let's say, every person that buys one of the NFTs, which might be like an exclusive album, I'm going to sell it for, let's say, 1,500. Or I might sell it for 50 quid, or I might sell it for 30 quid. Now, you might ask yourself, but how many albums can I sell as an NFT? Well, the key thing is here, and I'm going to use Tory Lanez, for example, and Blau. What they did is they did an exclusive drop of maybe about 300 to 500 exclusive NFTs. So imagine now making your NFT exclusively available to your die-hard fans. And basically you say, right, 500 die-hard fans can get an exclusive copy of my unreleased tracks or my latest tracks. And also what they can do is they can come to the studio and do a meet and greet. They're also going to get some exclusive merchandise, and they're going to get tickets to the next 2 concerts that I do in their local area, which actually gives what we call an experience. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't release that MP3 or that album onto Spotify or the other stores. But what it does mean is now you've basically done, you encapsulate an experience. Yeah, an experience being your die-hard fans are getting something different than just listening to an MP3 on Spotify, etc., etc. Thanks for, I think it's really that basically pointed out that 1 Ethereum is worth about $2,400. So essentially, you can decide on how much you want to sell your album. Sell my my music as an MP3. 1, instant payment. Yeah, not having to wait for years or months to get some payment. You get instant payment for your fans, and also you being able to basically offering up an experience to your diehard fans or people new into the space. You got a lot of people that have got loads of crypto money. There's people out there now that over the last couple of years have made a lot of money on crypto and now are getting into being collectors. And that's collectors of art as well as collectors of exclusive NFTs. So I'm going to pause there. Dawn, did that kind of answer your question in that particular sense, or do you have another question about a particular area?
No, that's great. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, hello? So let's pick on someone else. So someone else, take yourself. Yep.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, this is Agri.
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I am
cool. So you have tell me back.
Right. So I'm into crypto from an engineering standpoint. So I'm a software developer. I've been into cryptos way back in 2013. Yeah. 1 and 2 regards to NFT. I more or less buy and sell. You know, not at the creating level. But part of what you were mentioning to Dawn, things that come outside of what NFT at its core is. And I just wanted to put that distinction about the add-ons with tickets and these kinds of stuff. That's more that creative after sales kind of behavior. But one of the major things with NFTs I like to add is that its ability to transcend generations 1 and 2. It is really going to the time when crypto becomes a lot more mainstream. The banks are already on board, and NFTs will essentially evolve into a part outside of art. So NFTs are not only going to be art. NFTs are soon going to be moved into land. It's going to soon move into having a localized exchange where your land register is connected to a particular NFT register, and it holds value. And in some forms, I don't know how much persons here may know about smart contracts, but I agree that Dawn is going to produce a song. The day Dawn signs a contract, that'll produce 2 songs in the next 3 months. Once Dawn produces those songs, and those songs are delivered to me in the form of an NFT, we bring in smart contract, and Dawn gets payment automatically as those NFTs are delivered to me, and I validate them. So it's all part of the.
Okay, cool. So pause there. Pause there for a second. Pause there. Pause. Yeah, let's not try to give them too much at the same time. We need to elaborate on what we're talking about. Yeah. So the first point, let's take it back to music. And guys, pitch in here. So on the music thing, right? One of the things that I actually want to discuss here is, again, with music and royalties. So when you create an NFT, what the beautiful thing is essentially the royalty aspect. Now, let's assume that Dawn creates a digital album and she sells it to one of her collectors, and they buy this album for, let's say, $50. What can be associated to that NFT is the aspect of royalty. And this is the same for artists as well. So with an artist, essentially, or with anybody selling an NFT, what you can do is you can smart contract, which essentially is a bit of software that is triggered when your smart contract is fired. Yeah, special things will happen in the background. But the point here is, if I sold the album for 50 quid, the after sale fact is that person who bought the album or bought the NFT can sell it to someone else. Now, as a result of that, I can then get an ongoing royalty fee for that. So let's say at the moment, what some people are doing is they're putting a royalty fee attached to their NFT. So let's look at the 2 aspects. We've got an artist who draws, and we've got somebody who's a musician, and both might sell their artwork or sell their music, and I might buy it. The advantage here is I can now get an ongoing royalty fee, which I think is special, yeah, for the lifetime of that NFT. So to Agri's, I think it's Agri that I pronounce your name, I'm not sure if I pronounce your name right. To his point, one of the things of the ongoing royalty point is for the lifetime of that NFT, you as the individual owner can have a beautiful thing. Now, with the aspect of land, yeah, I didn't really want to go too much into that, but I'm glad you actually brought it up, because let's take, for example, Africa. There's always an argument of who owns the land, etc., etc. In the UK, or who owns the house. In the UK, it's very simple. You know, you have the land registry and the details on there. In some places in Africa, you don't have that. NFTs can be used, right, to basically stamp the ownership of that land and areas of that land. But in today's session, I don't think we really want to go too much into that unless people really want to know about it. I think today's session for me is more about the artist and the musician, and those people that are minting NFTs. Yeah, there are going to be loads of different uses of NFTs that we are going to see. And again, to essentially so many use cases for NFTs. We're talking about the ones that are now actively being used at the moment. So what are we seeing being used at the moment? Music, definitely. Art, definitely. Collectibles, definitely. We're seeing people make thousands of pounds and dollars from that. So I'm going to pause slightly because there's a question in the chat about can you please discuss between the various minting platforms and say what's good about each one, and various, e.g. OpenSea and Railable and Cargo, etc., etc. And that's Owner. So Owner, can you unmute your mic for a second, please?
Yeah, sure. Hi.
Owner, are you there?
Yes.
Excellent.
Can you hear me?
Right.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a bit about your journey? Yeah, we can hear you. Tell me a bit about your journey, and then we'll come to
the journey's at the very, very beginning, and it's just something I'm interested in because my kids like to draw, they like to make art, and so I thought it might be cool, just like you did with your daughter, to see if we could just put up something out there and see if we succeed in selling it. So I'm really just wondering about process. I know a little bit about crypto, so I've got I'm at the stage, like with your charts. Yeah, I'm at the stage where I have a MetaMask wallet, all sorts of wallet. We have Ethereum. It's really, okay, how do we go about creating this thing? We have a piece of digital art that we could convert into an NFT. So like, which platform should I choose? And is your market determined by the platform that you choose? Like, do certain people only go on OpenSea to look for NFTs? Do certain people go on Mintable? Like, we're really just green about NFTs and just curious as to process.
Okay, brilliant. Excellent question. I'm glad you asked that question. That's why I say it's good to be interactive rather than just throw up slides. So let's look at the first point. Your kids are how old?
So 9 and 7.
Excellent. And the reason why I say that is because I'm just pointing out here, it does not matter what age you are, whether you're 9, whether you're 50, whether you're 60, 70, 80, 90, you can mint an NFT. And the key thing is here, every single one of us has either taken a beautiful picture that someone says, oh, this is a great picture, that's fantastic, I'd love that picture, and you send it to them, or you put it on your Instagram, and you're not getting no money. Yeah, how many of us post beautiful pictures of when we're on holiday, and we post it on Instagram gets all the glory, you get a few likes, but you're not making any money from it. But somebody out there, whether it's a print shop or whether it's a gallery, would maybe put that in their galleries, or even as an NFT, you can actually sell it. Now, process. You mentioned a couple of galleries. Now, for those that don't know, I'm just going to talk about that. There's at least half a dozen different galleries where you can mint your NFT. Minting your NFT, meaning that you can essentially put your NFT on the blockchain in one of these galleries and put it up and list it for sale. Yeah, so if somebody says, oh, I've minted an NFT, essentially what they're saying is they've put up one of their pieces of art or their music onto one of these galleries, and it's now for sale. Now, the ones that I have personally minted on, I will talk about. So for example, I've minted on OpenSea, I've minted on Rareable, and I've minted on mintable.app. And I've also, as of yesterday, I minted on the Trezor blockchain. I'm not going to talk about that today because I'm still looking into that. But briefly, that is a new blockchain that is cheaper to mint on. But I don't want to go into it too much because I think it's still a growing platform. But maybe at the end, we'll probably touch on that. But let's talk about the ones that people are really using and talking about. And there's another one which is not on the list that you can see on the screen, but please do write it down, or somebody put it into the chat. I'll put it in the chat myself. Is Foundation. Yeah, so Foundation is another one. So I'm going to start off and just talk about my experience and different platforms. So let's go for Rarible. So Rarible.com, that was the first platform that I used to mint my first NFT. Now, the process was very simple. You went onto the website, you know, after you downloaded the MetaMask wallet. So for those that haven't downloaded the MetaMask wallet, if you want to mint your NFT, you are going to have to go and download a MetaMask wallet. And as I said at the beginning, you can go and download a MetaMask wallet from Google. Make sure it's the metamask.io, or you can download it from the Android or the Apple App Store. It looks like a fox. Be careful about which one you're downloading and make sure it is the correct one. But MetaMask wallet is the one that a lot of people are using. Now, I'm going to talk about the differences and why you may or may not need Ethereum in your wallet. So let's talk about Rarible now. So with Rarible, you will need Ethereum in your wallet to allow you to pay the gas fee to list your NFT. Now, I've just mentioned the word gas fee. Now, gas fees are essentially the network cost for you to put your NFT in one of these galleries. In this case, we're talking about Rarible. So you cannot basically sell or mint your NFT unless you have a significant, or not significant, a certain amount of Ethereum in your MetaMask wallet before you can mint on, so let's say, Rarible. Now, I do like Rarible because essentially the user interface is quite slick and it's quite easy to use. So let's assume that when you go into Rarible, one of the things that you would do is you would upload your NFT. When I say upload, you'll be uploading your digital file, and that digital file can maybe be a JPEG or a GIF file, or it could be a PNG, it could be a PDF, it could be any one of these digital files. And as part of the process of uploading your NFT, it will ask you for the title of your NFT. It will ask you for a description of your NFT, for price being 0.1 Ethereum, 0.5 Ethereum, one whole Ethereum. You know, you have to decide. Essentially, you would have to decide on the price point of what you want to sell your NFT for. Now, the other thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to determine the royalty aspect. So how much of a royalty do you want to add on to your NFT? Yeah. And when I say royalty, so for example, some people are saying 10%, some people are saying 5%. It kind of varies in what people are choosing as a price point. Now, I wouldn't get too caught about that. I'm going to be totally honest. My daughter sold her MP3 for, $20. But you know what? For a 9-year-old child who's just done a drawing and got $20, you know what? Pat on the back. It's fine. Whereas other people are selling their NFTs for millions of pounds. Yeah. So everybody is going to be different in their price range. I don't want to think as an artist that you're going to sell your stuff for $20. You might be thinking I'm going to sell it for loads more, which is fine. The other thing is on Rarible, you're going to be asked to put the amount of copies that you want. Now you got to kind of think about, for an NFT, what is nice about it is the fact that it's exclusive. The exclusivity is what is important about having this NFT. That exclusive aspect. So if you try and create an NFT and you do thousands of NFTs, then are people really going to be interested in buying the NFT versus something that is a bit more exclusive? So please do bear that in mind. Most people might do a one of one, or they might one of one being it'd be highly exclusive. Some people might do a one of 50. It might vary depending on the actual individual and how many copies you want to make available. Yeah, so that's the first one. So that is Rarible. Now, once you put all those bits of information into Rarible, it will then ask you to pay what we call a gas fee. And that gas fee will be a certain amount of Ethereum that you need to then pay to sign your contract or your smart contract onto the blockchain. That shouldn't take long. It probably takes about a couple of minutes for the smart contract to kick in, for it to be signed. And then once it's signed, that item will appear on the blockchain for other people to buy in the gallery. Yeah. So my experience with Rarible is, I think my first NFT, I sold my first NFT on Rarible, and this is not my daughter's one. My first NFT, which was like a small digital dog, was sold on Rarible, and it was quite simple to do. Now we then get on to OpenSea, but before I go to OpenSea, the thing about Rarible is every time you mint an NFT, you are going to have to pay a charge to mint your NFT. Now I have a problem with that, because if you are an artist, right, a struggling artist or struggling musician, you might not even be, but you're not going to have, hundreds of pounds to keep on spending on NFTs when you may not have even sold your NFT yet, or more than likely, more importantly, you don't know when your NFT is going to be sold, and you don't know how much it's going to be sold for. So to take that into consideration, if you're then having to spend loads of money, right, you would then have to think about, right, do you really want to use Rarible as your first point of minting, especially for your first couple of mints? Now, what I've been told is in the next couple of weeks, I'm not sure how long, is they should be introducing a concept which is called lazy minting. Now, lazy minting is a process whereby you as an individual can list your item or list your NFT, but it's not on the blockchain, but can be listed and can be put up for sale. So somebody can still see it and they can still buy it, but it's not going to be on the blockchain until somebody actually buys it, and then it will be put on the blockchain. Now, the advantage of that, it means that you can pay like a small fee to put it onto the to list it, and then essentially you won't pay a bigger gas fee. Now I'm going to go to OpenSea now. So with OpenSea, I do like OpenSea, and a lot of people in the NFT world are using OpenSea religiously. That is their first point of contact when they're actually going to sell their NFTs. Now, what's the difference between OpenSea and, let's say, Rarible? Well, OpenSea allows you to create a gallery, and a gallery essentially, just look at it as what it exactly says. It's a gallery where you can upload lots of your art into that particular gallery and pay a one-time fee, which I think at the moment is probably about $80. It might have changed, but it's about $80. And then when you start that gallery and you pay your $80, you can upload a number of different NFTs or digital pictures, music, photos, etc., and you can then sell them as NFTs. So what I'm saying here is, whereas with Rarible, you might have you will have to pay for every single time you create an NFT. The difference is you will not have to pay every single time. Yeah, you will basically pay a one-time fee on OpenSea, and then you can upload as many pictures as you like into that gallery, and then you can price individual NFTs as a price. So a lot of people are doing it that way. Now, the disadvantage of that is your buyer will be charged for that minting fee. So as I said before, is that NFT is not on the blockchain until it's actually bought. Yeah. Now, if it's not on the blockchain until it's bought, that's not really a problem, because your buyer can still see it. Yeah. So the fact that you can still see the item is not really a problem. Yeah. But the thing to consider here is your buyer is now going to be charged a bit more than the NFT. And I'll tell you why this can be a disadvantage. So for example, I had an artist who essentially, what I did for that artist is I helped an artist in Nigeria to mint an NFT, and their NFT was about $50. Now, because they did lazy minting, in other words, they didn't pay for the minting cost, I had to pay for that minting fee. And that minting fee essentially ended up being double what I actually was paying for the NFT. So just consider that as a disadvantage.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I would like to just add a few cents on is that because different platforms would have different costs, and I think what may be helpful is a comparative analysis of platforms that are more relevant to different types of assets and value. So for example, some platforms, because of the cost of coming onto them, they are priced at a higher level because they look for more high value NFTs. Some platforms, because of the cost of entry, it's a bit cheaper. So you look for your less costly NFT. So that's probably something we could look into in the future.
So I'm gonna pause you. I'm gonna pause you there, and I'm gonna say I disagree with you. And the reason why, but I'm glad you brought that to the table. Yeah. So very good point. But let me finish the other analysis of the other ones, and then I'll come back to your particular question. Right. So we talked about OpenC. We talked about Rarible. So as I said, with Rarible, you have to pay for every time you mint an NFT. Now, they're not doing anything great for you. Yeah. And the guys that put their hands up, don't worry, guys, I'm going to come to you in a second. But I just want to finish this summary quickly. They're not doing anything special for you. All they're doing is allowing you to put your NFTs onto their particular platform, right? So that is Rarible. OpenC, right? They're doing what we call a collector's gallery, where you can put your items into that gallery, and essentially by doing that, you then have a one-off cost, but you can put as many items into your gallery as possible. Yeah. Then you have Mintable. So Mintable now allows you to do gasless minting. Now, gasless minting meaning that you can create NFTs on their platform for free, and you could list those items, and people can then go and buy those NFTs. But it means that you haven't got to have any gas in your wallet. Now, let me just tell you why I like Mintable, and then we can get to maybe talking about comparison. Now, if you are a new artist, right, you may not even have any Ethereum, right? And even getting Ethereum might actually be difficult. The process of getting Ethereum, I could probably walk anybody through that process, but it's not always easy for everybody. So with Mintable, as long as you've got a MetaMask wallet, you can essentially connect your wallet to the site and upload your NFTs for fee, right, and list them. And then the gas fee is only charged to the buyer at the end. Now, there's no difference between that and the difference between OpenC. However, obviously with Rarible, because you've paid that gas fee, then obviously the buyer is not going to have to pay that fee. Now, to your point, I agree on the difference. Let's say, for example, now Foundation, right? So Foundation is another point, and I'm going to get you to come back off you in a second, and then you can obviously put your point across. But I just wanted to continue first before I get your argument into your point. Your argument is a valid point, but I wanted to finish where I was leaving off first. So let's say, for example, Foundation. Yeah. So now foundation, the argument is when you go to foundation, it's a more of a high profile website. Yeah, you got artists on there that are high profile, that are selling their NFTs, and they're getting a lot of money for their NFTs. Now, even though foundation is a great site, they charge you to list your NFT. So they'll charge you one price. Then they will charge you a commission fee for selling your NFT, right? So you will probably get charged about 3 times before you've even made one sale. Now, every artist is going to be different in their journey of what they can afford and what they can't afford. And yes, foundation does give you some sort of featuring, but it's going to be down to the individual of what they choose and the journey for themselves. So agreed, if you and I'll let you interject.
Yes. So basically, your last statement agrees with my main point, is that for someone who is like, I'm absolutely new, I now get a wallet, I have the song that I need to put out, I've been home for however long, I just need to earn some cash just to eat, you know. This is this particular platform is good for you, and as you develop and you grow, and you said, okay, I have some kind of recognition, but I just need a bigger push for what I'm producing now, then you go to another platform. But I essentially think that given that we are coming into this market, assessing what are the pros and cons of each, and then based on knowing what was the pros and cons of each, then we know what suits us at what stage in our process, which was my interjection. Yeah, so we're on the same page.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think your point is very valid. For every artist and every individual, it's going to be totally different. I think, and this is just a personal opinion, I think when you start your minting process, yeah, obviously learn the basics of what you need. Now, essentially, you will need a MetaMask wallet, and you can use any platform: OpenSea, Rarible, Mintable, Cargo, Mintbase. But in your mind, where are you in that journey? Have you got Ethereum? Have you got money to spend on minting your item before you've made a sale? Now, for some people, it doesn't matter because Foundation is a high-profile website. You know, you've got artists going onto that website and basically putting their stuff on there, and they are making money. But you've got other artists that are doing the same thing and making millions, thousands on OpenSea, and actually all they're doing is the same process and they're being charged less. However, look at the word OpenSea. Yeah, I want you to read into that word, OpenSea. Now, to me, yeah, a sea is a mess. Yeah, it's a mess. In the sea, you go in the ocean, you can't swim. It's so big. There's loads of fish all over the place. Now, the question here, and to the argument as well, which again, I say it's a very good argument, is would you prefer to be on an open sea, or would you prefer to be on a more unique site, like maybe Rarible or a Cargo or a Foundation, where it's actually, or even a Nifty Gateway, where you can't even get onto those sites unless they pick you or unless you get an invite? To some of the questions, and guys, I may have missed some of the questions because I had to come off and come in, so the questions are not in my timeline. So if I haven't answered your question or we don't get into it, please post your question again, just to let you guys know, because I might have lost to some of the questions in the timeline. But the point here is, with OpenSea, great, people are making money, but you have to imagine you're going to be in a process where there's going to be loads and loads of people trying to do the same thing as you. So you got to be careful about how you market your NFT. You have to be visible. You're going to have to do some sort of marketing. Yeah. So Dawn found me on Clubhouse. Yeah. I was on there talking, educating, marketing myself, going into rooms. My first NFT, I sold that because I went into a Clubhouse room talking about what I was doing. And somebody looked at my my bio, they saw my NFT picture, which was my profile picture, they liked it and they went and bought it. And that was like subliminally, that was me doing my marketing. So I think I'm going to open up to the floor, because I think one or two people may have had their hands up. So guys, let me take it back to you on the question. So please ask some more questions around that.
I think Rai had his hand up.
Hi, Rai.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm not really involved in NFTs at the moment, but I've been doing the whole crypto investing for about 6 weeks now. Been doing my research on NFTs and ERC 721s and whatever. But it's regarding the contracts. Are these contracts recognized by the courts, these smart contracts?
No, I would say yes and no.
Can I just respond to that, Chris, if possible?
Go for it.
Right. So in European law, there's a move afoot to put the right regulation in place for it to become enforceable. Yeah? So as it is now, it is not enforceable in European law. So there's draft legislation in Europe, in the United States. I am part of the Caribbean effort because I'm talking to you from Guyana. Where we were going at this from a regional standpoint, from all the way up to the CCJ, because they have acknowledged that the legal framework needs to catch up, and things are being put in place to get there. But I know for sure, I think Sweden, I think St. Kitts have some legislation that speak to the where the enforceability of smart contracts are.
So basically, we don't own the stuff then. The stuff we're putting up there, we can't contest whether we own it or not.
It's not that you don't own the stuff, because when you put something on the blockchain, right, essentially you are stamping the authenticity of you owning that NFT.
But it can only be authentic if you can contest it. It's authentic in a court. So it's only authentic in idea.
The problem is just like yes, but just to the point here is, until the real legal processes are put in, it's still up in the air. This is why I say yes and no, because you can always contest stuff. So let's say, for example, how does it work now? If you go and copy somebody's stuff, and claim it as yours, that person has a right to take you to court. Yeah, regardless of regardless of whether or not they got NFT or not. So let's say, for example, I did a bit of art, right? And I made an NFT of it, but I put it on my Instagram, and you stole that picture and then basically tried to make it into an NFT yourself. Now, by rights, I could take you to court and say, well, you stole that picture from my Instagram. Here's my timestamp, etc., etc. Now you might argue, well, I made the NFT first. Well,
but then the court will ask for proof of the contract. Without contract, nothing can be.
Well, are we talking? So when we take contract, we're talking about talking about different things here. So we're talking about smart contract is the contract that is technically in place when you're putting your stuff on the blockchain. So when I put my stuff on the blockchain, I'm essentially creating a smart contract, putting my stuff on the blockchain, and at the same time, I'm putting the sale price of my NFT, which when you as the buyer go and buy, that smart contract is now kicked off to say, right, you are now the new owner of that NFT. You are owning the NFT. You're not owning the legal rights to my stuff unless I've given you the copyright. Yeah. Okay.
So then basically you would need two contracts. One, you got your smart contract, and then you would need
So this is the point. It's a good point that you made, because what some people are doing is saying, right, you know what? I'm gonna give you another contract to say, right, here's a different type of contract, not on the blockchain, that you own this, right? And you as a buyer, may want to go and ask for that contract at the present state, because this is all new, right? Everything in this NFT world is very, very new. The fact that people are making thousands of millions of pounds, the whole contract process is still new. And I'm not talking about the smart contract or putting your stuff on a blockchain. I mean the real legalities of it, right, what if I'm taking your piece of art and I'm claiming it as mine?
Yeah,
some
it's the
of
Wild
these
West at the moment.
Exactly, that is the point. It is a Wild West. Now, some of these platforms will ask you as an NFT owner whether or not you want to give away copyright, right? And then it's down for you to say yes or no if you want to give away that copyright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, you're getting royalty. The musician or the artist will be getting royalties based on the smart contract.
Right. Now, I'm gonna put something into that point. So there's a couple of things. So the musician or the artist or the person that created the NFT, right, on some of these platforms, and I say some, right, they will allow you to add what you call a royalty fee, right? A royalty fee being, right, so for example, on Rarible, you can go in there, you say, right, I want 10% royalty for any after sale.
Yeah.
So if I sold my NFT for 50 quid, right, you might buy my NFT and then you might resell it on the open market. You might even try and resell it for more, or I'm not sure. I haven't done a resale myself, but I've other people that have done resale. You might resell that NFT on the open market, and I would still get a 10% of every resale. So that NFT can exchange hands 1,000 times for the lifetime of the NFT, providing that platform allows you to have the royalty. You should get a royalty for every time it's resold.
Okay, I'm just gonna put a little so what happens if you don't, supposing somebody does, so it's automatically,
It should be automatic.
providing, supposing you don't get your royalties, then what can you do?
So providing the platform has that enforced with their smart contract, and you as the seller are selling the NFT on the same platform, then it shouldn't be a problem. That royalty should exchange hands. Now, what we are seeing in this wild west is some people are taking their NFTs. Let's say, for example, I bought your NFT, and I went on to another platform and took that NFT from that platform, because that NFT is a token, essentially. It's a token. Think it's a digital token.
Yeah,
I can take that digital token and send it to another wallet and then basically put it on another platform. Therefore, it's not on Openc no more. It's not on Rarible. I've now gone to Cargo or Foundation. Yeah. Now, that smart contract realistically is kind of now broken. Yeah. So now if I resell that, there's no royalty fee, right, for that particular artist. Now, what I can do as an artist is I can complain. And what I can do is, obviously, in my description, I'll obviously say, right, royalties should be paid to me continually for the lifetime of this particular art. And obviously on the platform, it will say that there's a royalty for an after sale. But if I find that my piece of art was on another platform and I wasn't getting the royalty, then essentially I might have to take that person to court, or I might have to actually complain to the platform itself to say this particular piece, this particular NFT was taken originally from Rarible, where I had a 15% royalty, and I'm not receiving that now. Can you ensure that I am receiving it? And then there might be a discrepancy between the new seller to say, why are you not paying this person their royalty fee? And there'll be a dispute, and hopefully that will be handled. But to be honest, like I said, it's a wild west. So is that going to happen in reality? Maybe not yet, until all of these platforms are kind of working more in unison, which is slowly happening.
So you can't write terms and conditions into your contract.
Right. So yes, you can. Right. So there's two ways that you can probably do this. So the first thing is, now when you use these platforms, they give you certain fields, right? So for example, your description field. Now you could argue you could put that into that description field. They also give you what you call an unlockable field, right? So for example, an unlockable can be used for many different things. It could be used to allow your buyer to send you information. It could be used to give your buyer some high resolution files. It could be used as a download process, but you can also use it to say, right, once the person buys that NFT, it unlocks a file in a directory, which is actually a contract that you have written up physically. And then you say to the person, thank you for buying blah, 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 blah. And this is now your contract, which you now have to stick to. Whether they stick to it or not, whether it's legal is debatable, but you could actually do that. Now, if you're a programmer as well, you could write your own type of smart contract. Now, I have a background in programming, but I don't have a background in making smart contracts as such. So I agree. I'm not sure what your opinion of that is, in the sense that I know some people are writing their own smart contracts in that space, but again, it's still going to be debatable.
Yeah, it's a
right. So what is happening now? I like to agree with you. Yes, it is a Wild West, but as with anything, there are structures that are being put in place legally and standards that are being put in place via consultative process to come to a conclusion. I can give you some overviews of a few standards. From a legal perspective, I already dealt with that. From a smart contract perspective, based on what platform you're on. So if you're going the Ethereum route, then it's going to follow those Ethereum rules that govern the architecture and how things are done. Yeah? And if you go some of these open systems that have like a website, you just do up a quick smart contract where drag and drop, then you have to be governed by those rules. I'm sure that the rules for that platform would be somewhere on that particular person's website.
Yeah, I understand. Thanks.
Okay, so let's go back to some questions that I want to hear from some other people in the audience of their experience and what they want to try and mint. Andrew, when you upload videos on your YouTube, and then the YouTube has the rights, so who owns the NFT once it is on the exchange? So okay, so Andrew, do you want to take yourself off mute for a second? You there with us, Andrew? Not sure if Andrew's still there, but Andrew had a question. So I'm going to try.
He's there. It's the gentleman with the glasses.
Okay. Oh, Andrew, do you want to take yourself off mute?
Yeah, I think his sound is quite low, so that's why he's typing the questions.
Okay, no worries. So Andrew, to Andrew's question, not working. Okay, 1 second. Let me just try. So when you upload videos on YouTube, then YouTube has the rights. So who owns the NFT once it's on the exchanges? Okay, good question. So you're always, as the NFT holder, you're always going to be the copyright holder. Yeah. Now, what you're doing is basically you're essentially exchanging a token to say that that person now has the how can I put it, the ownership of that NFT more than anything else. It doesn't mean that they can essentially go and do whatever they like with that video, but they can, if available on that platform, resell that video on that open platform. Now, I can't really compare it to YouTube as such, because YouTube will put in a million contractual things of how they own their stuff, and I think it's slightly different to how the NFTs work. But one thing I would say is, and I think people take this for granted, is probably need to look at the rights or the T's and C's of any NFT site that you're uploading to, because they could potentially put sneaky little things in there. But essentially, you're putting your video, if you're making a film, for example, I'm going to use a video as or music. I won't use a music video as an example, but let's say, for example, one of the ideas that I've had is I want to create a short film, and I'm going to create an NFT of that. So what do I mean by that? So I'm going to give you a real life experience. So over the lockdown period, I had a filmmaker who posted something on Instagram. I know this particular person because they have done music videos for me before. And the video was a short film called 419 days of lockdown. And it showed somebody being anxious during the lockdown period and basically suffering from anxiety and then collapsing. It was just a dramatic video, and I found it really engaging, and it was a beautiful short film. Because I saw that, I actually said, you know what, let me ring you up. I want you to do a part 2, and I'm going to commission you. So I'm going to give you money to do this. Now, they weren't expecting to do a part 2, but because I love that short film, I naturally just said, you know what, I know this person, I love what they do. I'm going to see if they're doing a part 2. Oh, I'm not doing a part 2, Chris. I just wanted to I said, no, you know what? You need to do a part 2. What's stopping you? Oh, Chris, I don't think I can afford you know what? How much is it going to cost? X, Y, Z. Right. You know what? I'm going to send you some money. That should be enough. Yep. And straight away, I commissioned that film. Now, where I'm going with this now is what I want to now do with that filmmaker is I want to turn that into an NFT. Now, what does that mean? To me, it doesn't mean that I'm going to own the rights of that NFT, but I will be working in partnership, and there will be maybe a 50-50 split with me, the person that's commissioning that film, and them to say, right, we're going to create an NFT. That NFT is going to be a short film whereby 200 people will get exclusive access to the film for the lifetime of that film being available. They will also get some special tickets, and they will get a special goodie bag, and they'll get some special merchandise, and they'll get to meet and greet the actors in that film as an NFT, right? So that's as an experience. Now, the video is going to be uploaded to a site. Now, that process will mean that I'm going to go to Rarible or Openc, upload the actual physical file onto a drive. So that might be a protected drive. Now, you as the person buying that NFT, once you buy that, I'm going to give you what we call is an unlockable. That unlockable is really essentially a file that says, right, thank you very much, Andrew, for buying this particular NFT. Please send me your email address. And as a result of you now, Andrew, sending me your email address, I'm now going to send you a passcode, right, to access the file for you to watch that film independently, right? So it might be I might give you access to download the file. Doesn't mean that you can now go and sell that file to someone else, or it doesn't mean that you can go and sell it to Hollywood or Disney as your own film, but it does mean that you can potentially resell that NFT on to somebody else to watch. So for example, you might take that NFT and think, oh, this is a great film, and then you might resell it as an NFT because it will still be, you can then say resell, and then you might sell that to is it Kendick? Kendick, you might decide to sell it to Kendick, and then she might decide to sell it to Rod in that whole NFT process. So I don't know if that kind of didn't answer the question in the way that maybe you wanted it, but I'm giving you the idea of how I would sell an NFT as a video. Did that help, Andrew? Cool, excellent. Okay, so back to the floor again. One of the things that I'm going to talk about briefly is marketing your NFT. So creating an NFT, right, is easy. And Dawn, I know you wanted me to go through the process, but I think because I've had some switches with my computer, it's going to be quite difficult, but I'm still going to go over that process, but I'm not going to physically do it. I'm going to go over it for those people that maybe want to know how to do that and the process again. So I will go over that again. So marketing an NFT, right? Can you rent an NFT? We'll come to that second. So marketing your NFT. Now, what I'm finding is there's no blueprint for you to market your NFT. Now, I think you guys need to use the analogy of when you are creating, if you're a musician and you're an artist or you make a film, how do you currently market your NFT? How do you currently market your new music track or your artwork if you're an artist, or your film if you're a filmmaker. You're going to have to use those same principles. You're going to have to use all the social media. You're going to have to go onto Instagram. You're going to have to create your ads. You're going to have to market it that way. You're going to have to go onto Twitter. Twitter is more like the home ground for all the NFTs. You got all the big wigs, whales. They call them whales. Now, whales are the ones that with the big crypto money, or call them big collectors, who are looking for NFTs to buy. And believe me, there are a lot of whales out there. If they like your art and like your story, we'll come to story in a minute, they will buy your NFT. Now, Twitter and the hashtags are being used to market NFTs. What do I mean by that? So, for example, you might go onto Twitter and essentially you'll have an NFT. You will do your NFT on, let's say, Rarible or Openc, and you will share the link of your NFT, which will have all the details, including the pricing, etc., on Twitter. And in that, you would also use hashtags: NFT artist, NFT collectible, NFT art, NFT music, NFT world, 3D rendering, all the art, all the kind of NFT related hashtags are used to market your NFTs. On top of that, I find at the moment, Clubhouse, the app Clubhouse, is a great playground for marketing yourself and your NFTs, and also learning the whole landscape of NFTs. Yeah. So going on to Clubhouse, going into some of the NFT rooms and telling your story and talking about yourself, talking about your background, talking about your art, showcasing your art in your profile. When I say showcasing your art in your profile, even when you go into a Clubhouse room, people should be able to see your picture, and that picture might be a picture of your artwork. When you got your profile, talk about what you're doing as an artist, and have the links to your NFTs in your profile. Very important. So, for example, I mentioned Clubhouse because when I'm on Clubhouse, the first thing that I do when someone comes to an NFT room, and especially if they're talking, I'm looking at their profile. I'm finding out about them. So let's say, for example, it was Andrew or Rode or Tolu or any ones. I'll be looking at your profile to find out, who are you? What are you doing? Where's your Instagram link? Where's your Twitter link? I'll be looking at all these things in your profile. So I just wanted to touch on that as a point of how do you market your NFT? Even doing press packs. There's no harm in doing press packs. I don't see many people doing it, but if you think about the big artists like Blau, who sold his stuff for, I think it was 11 million, and some of the other NFT artists. There's an artist called Banksy. Now, I don't claim to know loads of stuff about traditional artists, but let's say there was an artist called Banksy. Somebody resold a digital copy of a Banksy painting. So imagine now, Andrew, you are a painter. Yeah, I'm picking on Andrew now. So Andrew, let's assume that you're a painter and you paint a lovely piece of art. You now want to sell that as an NFT. There's a couple of things that you can do. One of the things that you could do is you could say, right, I'm going to take a picture, a digital picture of this digital art, and I'm going to put that as the NFT, right? Now, you could sell just that digital picture because it's a unique piece of art, yeah? And it's an NFT. You just take a picture. Nobody else is going to get that picture. You're doing a one-of-one. So only one person is going to get a picture of that digital art, which is actually a physical piece that you've drawn, but you've taken a picture of it and you're now making that available as an NFT. However, you can now be clever. What you can do is you can add what we call the collectible experience, or an unlockable. So you can now say in your description, here is the picture of the digital, unique, one-of-one piece of art that I have just drawn. And that person who buys this NFT will also be sent the physical item of this drawing. So you would now set, that person now buys it. When it's unlocked, they will get an email, or they will get a file that they can download, and with some information of where to send their email address, and send me your home address, and then I will send you that physical file. So you've bought the NFT and you've only seen the digital file, but actually I'm now sending you the physical picture as well. Now, what people ask me is, what happens if I now resell that? Well, the reseller could probably argue that they don't have to sell on that physical piece of art, but in the real world, if I bought that piece of art off you, I would get that physical art, and it will be, you know, I'd get that as a resale. In the NFT world, people can choose whether or not they want to send that physical art, and also the buyer might not even want the physical art. They might just want the digital art. You also might ask, why are people buying these NFTs, right? What's so unique about them? Some people just want the kudos of buying a great piece of digital art, because when you buy a digital art NFT, right, you have a wallet. Everything that you buy in that wallet is associated to one of these galleries. So for example, I'm a buyer, right? I have bought about 3 NFTs myself of artwork that I like. When you now go and search for my name on OpenSea, so for example, if you went onto OpenSea right now, right, and typed in, put it online, you would potentially see some of the artwork that I either own or that I have actually bought as an individual. So as an artist, some of those artists actually just love the kudos of the fact that somebody has actually bought somebody that, no, let me explain. Some of those buyers just like the kudos of somebody seeing the fact that they have now bought a beautiful piece of art because it now shows up on that individual's gallery. So that's maybe one of the reasons why some people buy the NFTs. Other reasons is because obviously people want to sell on that NFT because they think it has a value. So, you know, if I resell my NFT and it has a value, I might be able to sell it for more money, which is great. If I can sell it for more money, that's fantastic. So just an idea, putting that out in your head of why some people buy NFTs. One, because they want to show that they have some nice, lovely art. Or two, they might think that art is going to be worth some money in the future. So they might want to buy that physical art. Now, I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see one of my screens. Let me see if I can find the right one. Give me a second. OpenSea. So this is, for an example, this is one of the galleries that a lot of people use, which I mentioned, OpenSea. I do like OpenSea, but it's not the only one that I use to mint my items. So I'm gonna go to my own OpenSea gallery. So guys, can you see this? If you can see this, put your hand up to let me know that you can see it. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Andrew, can you see my screen? Yeah, brilliant, excellent. So these are, so for example, right, you're gonna see some weird and wacky stuff in my gallery. Some stuff that I've created myself, and I'll give you the reason why and how I've done it. So for example, Ares, God of War, right? Ares is one of my own NFTs. I created this NFT because I have been in the crypto space for about 5 years. My first NFT that I sold was a nice little cute little dog, and then it inspired me to create a collection of dogs based on Greek gods. Yeah. This particular dog has got some music behind it. I think it's this one, but anyway, when you click on it, it should play a bit of music. So my NFT is going to be the digital asset, plus it's going to have some music. So when you download the dog, you get the music. I'm also creating ones where if you download the dog, you get the music, plus you get a t-shirt, or you will get a hoodie. And I'm using it as an experience. So I'm saying, right, my collectible is going to be a digital dog, and some of the dogs are going to have a collectible experience, whereas if you buy it as a buyer, you're going to get a t-shirt and you're going to get a music track. So that's one example. Now, the picture here is a picture that I took. I'm into music. Music is my passion. I was in a room, and the guy in the room had his stuff all laid out, and I just thought it was beautiful. I thought, you know what, let me take a quick picture. And that's the picture. So I'm now selling this as an NFT for somebody who wants to buy the picture. Now, the one here, this one that you can see here, hopefully it will show up. Right, so this one here is a piece of art. Let me give you the story behind this one. This particular piece of art, I was in a room, right, with a guy called Gold Chase. and I was in a clubhouse room. He came into the room and said, "Guys, you know what? I've just minted my first NFT, and you know what? I think I fucked up. Yeah, excuse my language, right? But I think I've messed up." But that's what he said, right? I think I've priced my NFT too low. He did. He priced his NFT, I think it was 20 bucks. But you know what? I spared no time in buying that NFT. So as soon as he put it up there, I thought, wow, this is cool. I like it. You know, it's an animated. Can you guys see it? Can you see the animation? Right. So I thought, oh, well, you know what? This is cool. It's a digital piece. Now it's different to the contemporary art that we saw, but I thought there was a lot going on in this piece of art, and I just liked it. So I just went and bought it. So this piece of art now shows up in my gallery. So to my point of why do people buy a piece of art, I just liked it. So I went and bought it. This picture here, right? I call it Little Ballerina. Yeah. So Little Ballerina, this is a picture of my daughter when she did her ballerina, right, stuff, and she was doing the ballerina. I took a great picture. I like to think it's a great picture. So it's now one of my NFTs. So the point I'm making, guys, is whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, whether you take great pictures, you can actually put your NFTs up. Some of these pictures are pictures of my wife. So my wife went and she took some pictures of fish. I put them out there. Now, they might not sell. Yeah, they may not sell, but the fact is, I like the pictures. I love the pictures. Somebody else might like them. If the price is right, they might want it in their particular gallery. Hence why I've made it into an NFT. Some of these other ones are random things. I won't give you the storyline behind everything. This particular little doggy, I'm going to click on this little doggy here. This particular dog, hopefully when it does show up, was the first little NFT that I sold. So I sold this NFT. Now the story behind this NFT is I did this NFT 3 years ago, and it wasn't an NFT. Essentially, I was into crypto, and I wanted to create a T-shirt to represent some of the cryptos that I think that would be making me money in the years to come. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ripple, Dash, whatever. So I created this little dog in the assumption of I'm going to sell some T-shirts. Fast track to where we are now and NFTs. I thought, oh my God, you know what? This is an opportunity. I could turn that idea into an NFT, and I created this NFT. I then basically went into a room on Clubhouse, went on Twitter, promoted the hell out of it, and I sold it. Yeah, is one of a few of these particular versions, but essentially, again, anybody could have done this. Yeah, anybody can do any NFT that they like. I'm just going to pop into the chat now. 1 second. Does Openc charge you for holding your NFTs on their website? Do you get charged for it? So when you create an NFT on Openc, you can create what we call a gallery, right? And the galleries, there is a one-off fee to create a gallery. That one-off fee, I think it's about $80, but you would need Ethereum. Ethereum is what you need in your wallet to basically mint or to list your NFT. And that once you pay that fee, you can list as many items you like in your gallery, and that is the charge. They will not continue to charge you for listing because they've charged you a one-off fee. Now, what they will do is they will charge you a percentage for the NFT sale. So if you now sell it, I think it's about 2.5. Don't quote me, but I think it'll be in their terms and conditions. But I think it's about 2.5% for now every NFT that you now go and sell off the bat. So if I was to sell this NFT, they'll take 2.5%. Digital Assets AI RD is flogging its picture for over 100,000. There you go. So people are selling their pictures for a lot of money. How about 1 million? There you go. That's from Andrew. Yeah, you could. You know what? Banksy sold the Banksy piece of art sold for I think just under 1 million. And the Blau album sold for 21 million. Ridiculous amounts. That's what the hype is about. So when they say what is the hype about this NFT, people are selling digital art for ridiculous amounts of money. Yeah. Now not every piece of art is going to sell. Do not get it twisted. Do not think that you're going to do an NFT and sell straight away. You are going to have to market. Yeah. Does the sale go back as Ethereum? And that's a question from Andrew. Yes, it does. So Andrew, once you sell your NFT, you will be paid in Ethereum. However, can you cash out? Can I get my money out? That's what you want to know, isn't it, Andrew? Nod your head. Yeah. How do I? If I sell my art for $1 million, can I get £1 million? Let me give you two scenarios, Andrew. So first of all, Ethereum goes up in value and goes down. Now, what does that mean? Ethereum today, somebody tell me what Ethereum is. Somebody go and look it up for me now. Let's be interactive. Somebody go and tell me what Ethereum is. Right, I can do it, but I want one of you guys to do it and put it into the chat. Somebody tell me what the current value of Ethereum is right now. Yeah, come on, hurry up. Somebody tell me. Give you 5 seconds. There might be a prize for somebody, the first person that does it. Yeah. Come on. I bet if I said I'm going to give a prize money for the first person that puts it in there, hold tight, Jay. Right. So 2,275. Is that dollars, Jay? Yeah, it's just dollars. Right. So let's assume, yeah, right. So now I can almost bet you, right? Right. So yeah, there you go. And Ty was just told me in pounds now, right? And it's all coming in now. I'm glad you guys have been interactive. Now I know you're awake. So I can guarantee you, right, in 10 minutes time, you guys are going to have different prices, right? So my point to Andrew is Ethereum goes up and it goes down. What's the advantage and disadvantage of that? So the advantage here, guys, is let's say, for example, I was paid one Ethereum, £1,591. In 2 weeks' time, that Ethereum might have doubled. I'll tell you what I mean, Andrew, Rhodes, Tolu, rest of the guys. I'm sure you know what I mean. But this time last year, not even, I think it's this time last year, or let's say 2 years ago, I kid you not, I had 80 pounds in Ethereum, right? So I had, let's say, an Ethereum and it was 80 pounds. That Ethereum now that I had is now worth £1,591. One Ethereum. And I bought it for 80 quid. 80 quid, right? Now, I'm going to tell you the positive and negative of that. I've also bought Ethereum at £300 and seen it go all the way down to £80. But because I'm not bothered about selling that Ethereum, I'm keeping it because I think I can, you know, do something with it. Yeah, because I can use my Ethereum for other things. I chose not to sell it. So I'm lucky now that 2 years down the line, that Ethereum is now worth some money. So, guy, I think somebody needs to put themselves on mute, otherwise I will do. Right, so that Ethereum is now worth a lot more money. So to the other point, Andrew, how do I get my money out? Because I need some of that cash. I need some of it. What you can do is you can convert your Ethereum to pounds, dollars, US dollars, etc., etc. So, for example, I have got an app called Coinbase, and I use Coinbase. And if anybody wants an affiliate link for Coinbase, let me know, and I will send you my affiliate link, because then I can get £10 of free Bitcoin, and you can get £10 free Bitcoin. So essentially, I use Coinbase to buy and sell cryptocurrency. But with Ethereum, I can go onto Coinbase, I can buy some Ethereum, but more importantly, if let's say, for example, I asked you guys to download the MetaMask wallet. You can buy Ethereum within the MetaMask wallet, right? But you can also buy Ethereum on Coinbase. If I was saying to you the first time around, more than likely, I would tell you, if you download the Coinbase, the Ethereum wallet, I would advise you more than likely to buy Ethereum there and buy a small bit, because you don't have to then transfer it from your Coinbase wallet to your MetaMask wallet. But I'll explain that in a second. Let's assume now somebody bought Mr. C's piece of art, his little doggy, for £1,000 or £1,000 in crypto. What I would do is I would send a certain amount. I would first send a test sample of Ethereum to my Coinbase wallet, just to make sure that I'm sending the correct amount and it's being received by my receiving wallet, which would be on Coinbase. And then what I would do is I would use my Coinbase account to transfer into fiat, pounds or dollars. That process would probably take me all of 5 minutes to do, assuming that the time only didn't take that long, but it would probably take me about 5 minutes to do, from the process of me sending the wallet from my my MetaMask wallet, where I have my winnings or my sell value, to my Coinbase wallet. And then from my Coinbase, I would connect that to my bank account, and then I would transfer it back. So I'm going to show a different drawing on my screen, just to kind of talk about what I'm saying. Give me 1 second. So this particular drawing, there's a particular guy in the crypto world that basically shared this particular drawing, and I like to use some of his drawings because it makes explaining things a lot easier. So guys, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen at the moment? Yeah, can you see, Andrew, can you see my screen? Excellent, cool. So now let's assume, now one of the things, oops, going back. So let's assume, now you talked about how do I get my money out, right? So one of the things that when I was showing this, I was showing it for a reason, because I knew we'd come back to it. So let's assume that you've got a personal bank, Barclays, Halifax, Citibank, NatWest, any one of those banks, right? Now, be mindful, not all the banks like you using crypto, and some of the banks will block you. I'm just telling you that now. But let's assume that let's assume that you set yourself a budget of £200 to buy some Ethereum, because you're going to buy my lovely dog, right? Now, to do that, what are you going to do? First of all, you're going to take £200 and you are going to basically go onto Coinbase, or you're going to go onto MetaMask, and you're going to connect your bank account, and you are going to buy £200 worth of Ethereum. Yeah. Now you can buy Ethereum and MetaMask, but let's assume that you was going from your bank and you was downloading it into Coinbase. You connected your Coinbase to one of many different exchanges. In this case, we're talking about Coinbase. You bought £200 worth of Ethereum, and then you transferred that equivalent amount to your MetaMask wallet. That would do two things. That would one, allow you to buy NFTs. Why would you want to buy an NFT? Well, you might like a piece of art. You might find some value in buying and selling NFTs. Some people are making money from buying and selling NFTs. That's how they're making their profit, buying and selling. Or you might want to mint your own NFT. So if you're going to mint your own NFT in some of these platforms like Rarible, Openc, and Cargo, and some of the others, you're going to need Ethereum before you can open up your gallery to mint your NFTs, right? So now, let's assume now you did this process. You got some money from your bank, you put it into Coinbase, or you put it into your MetaMask wallet. You've now got some Ethereum. You've now opened up an account on Openc, and you've now sold your first NFT. Brilliant. You've got $1,000 in there. Now you got to do the transfer back. So you've now got to go from MetaMask, which will be holding your money. You send that money back to let's say Coinbase would then allow you to connect your bank and then transfer that money back into fiat currency, yeah, which would then allow you to get your money. So that would be the process to do that. Does that answer your question, Andrew? Excellent, cool. So you have to include transaction fees. Thank you very much. So yeah, so one of the important things here is there are transaction fees. So a couple of things, and thank you for bringing that. So when you mint an NFT, right, there are transaction fees, which is the gas fees, which I mentioned before. But also, when you are going from Coinbase to MetaMask, and even from MetaMask to Coinbase, you will be charged a small gas fee. Your gas fee is essentially your network fee for transferring that equivalent amount of Ethereum to your MetaMask wallet or your Coinbase Mask wallet, and also from converting it into fiat money. So let's say the easiest way to say that is, if you had £200 worth of Ethereum and you wanted to change that into pounds, you might be charged, let's say £5, £10 for doing that. Now, there are some times in the day where it's cheaper to do that. Gas price, or the price for doing your exchanges, can vary during the day. And that's also the same principle of when you mint an NFT on OpenC or Rarible, you find a lot of people complaining, oh, the gas fees are too high. Because what happens is, essentially, if the network is being used a lot during the day or during the evening, that price for you to create your NFT or to transfer money from Ethereum back into pounds will vary. The best way analogy of it is, think of an Uber. When you book an Uber, right, sometimes during the day it's cheap because nobody's using it. Yeah. But when everybody's using the Uber, the charges and the network fees go up. That's literally the same analogy for when you're minting an NFT or transferring your money from Ethereum back to pounds or dollars. Okay, so guys, out to anybody else, let's have some other people within the group. Any other questions, pop them in or come off mute and ask. And I think, guys, look at the areas that you want to be in and maybe ask questions that are relevant for yourself. So if you're trying to mint in a particular area and you want some ideas, pop the questions in, and if I have some ideas around it, I'll definitely answer them. How we doing for time, Dawn? I think you're on mute, Dawn. Okay, cool. So Tolu, young billionaire,
Hi.
Simo, Ray, Andrew, what other questions do you guys have in this particular area?
We have just about 15 minutes, okay?
Cool. So to Andrew's point, Andrew, you can any one of you guys can contact me via my Instagram, which I'll put in right now. My Instagram is put online, by the way, and that is probably one of the best ways to contact me. If you have got details from Dawn, then obviously contact Dawn, and then you can contact me. If you need a hand-holding to mint your first NFT, or you just want to pick my brain, then obviously either contact myself directly or speak to Dawn, and we can arrange a session where I can go through some different bits to you. Sometimes there is a small charge, but essentially, if I can help you guys, I'm always willing to help you guys. So don't worry about that. If you have a quick question, Dave, this is your time to ask. Guys, I'm here to answer any questions that you have. So if you have a question, please feel free to ask it. If I know it, I'll definitely answer you. If I don't, I'll find the answer out. So go for it, Dave.
Sorry, it's not Dave. Kandaki,
how are you?
I'm good, my brother. So just a quick one. If because I've been hearing about these NFTs, and I heard you mention like stories. So if, for example, you thought, so you know, like they have Notting Hill. Yeah. And Notting Hill is this kind of, you know, bougie area, and I think when the internet was going on, you know, somebody was posting Notting Hill, and it just became really, really famous, a place where people would want to, you know, visit the site. And that, you know, if you're in an area, or if you know, thought that there were interesting things in an area, could you do something like that and then put it up and then create this story around, you know, the area, taking interesting pictures and things like that? Is that something to create interest, or are we talking about artwork basically?
Okay, so I'm glad you. How do you pronounce your name again?
Kandaki.
So Kandaki, that is an interesting point that you've made. So first of all, whatever you want to create an NFT for is open to you. Be creative, because everybody in this room, I can guarantee you, we are all creatives. So what you've just bought is a different style of NFT, and it's a creative approach. So what you're putting to the table is, hold on, you know, you've got Notting Hill, it tells its own story, but you're kind of gonna, in some ways, you're narrating a particular story, which might be a collage of pictures, it might be some videos, it might be some snippets, it might be stuff that people haven't seen. Now, the answer to that question really is yes, you can do whatever you like, right? But the question is, what is going to entice me to buy that NFT? What am I going to get? Am I going to get some exclusive pictures? Am I going to get some merchandise? Am I going to get some unreleased music that is from artists that you're working with? Am I going to get a kind of like a video documentary that is only exclusive to me? What are you providing? So the answer to your question is yes, but you also need to think of who is the audience and what you're going to sell to them. Because when I was talking about story, I was talking about when you're selling the NFT, what's your story, right? What is going to entice me to buying your NFT? So let's say, for example, I'm a buyer, right? I have bought probably about 3 people's NFTs in the last 3 weeks. Yeah. Why did I buy their NFTs? The first person that I bought in the last 3 weeks, so I'm just going to use the last 3 weeks as an example. The first person was a Nigerian lady who for some reason, I saw something on Twitter of a drawing that she had done. Somebody then sent a message to my WhatsApp group for whatever reason, I can't remember, but the two resonated. I then went on to Instagram because her Instagram handle was there, and I saw that she was a pen drawer, and I just liked what she had done. And I just said, oh, you know, I really like what you've done, blah, 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 blah. And then she said, oh, you know what, Chris, I'm trying to mint my NFT. And I said, you know what, let me help you, right? So I reached out to her, I got her phone number, and I basically helped her mint her first NFT. I liked the drawing, right? So I just bought the NFT. Her story was just the fact that she had some background in the sense that somebody had tweeted about her and how she was a great pen artist. I then looked at her artwork and I liked it, right? So that was that story there. Now, the second story was the fact that somebody's just coming into Clubhouse and talking about how they made a mistake. Not much of a story, but they've kind of done that, right? Other stories are how people are talking about their background and why they created those NFTs. What's the story behind you creating your NFT? That is going to entice me to buy your NFT. So now you've just given me an idea, and now I'm intrigued to find out what you are going to create that NFT for, which is maybe one of the reasons why I'm like, oh, let me look at what she's going to do. That's the same thing other buyers are going to do. So that when I was talking about story, I'm talking about what your story is for the NFT. However, what you've done is telling me and put to the point of, this is maybe, can I do this as an NFT? So I've kind of give you two answers there. The first answer is yes, you can. Secondly is your story should be, why did you create that NFT and what are you doing? So if somebody asks you, why are you going to create that NFT? You need to have your story. And that might just resonate.
Got it. Okay.
And that's not going to be for the same for everybody. Not everybody's going to have the same story or fantastic story. An artist is just going to have, they draw art. It's their passion. They might have drawn that, but they're going to have a reason why they drew that piece of art. But me as a buyer, I'm going to look at the art and I just like it or I don't like it. There might be a reason why I'm buying that art. If I'm a filmmaker, I'm making a film. The story is behind that film. Why did they make that film? The film and the description of that NFT will tell me what the film's about. Yeah, or the video is about. Yeah, if I'm a musician or artist or a rapper or singer, I'm going to be making an album which might be exclusive. It might be exclusive for my super fans, you know, anything along those lines.
Okay,
cool.
Thank you.
Did we conduct it? Are you on the, because I can see your name, but I can also see somebody called Dave that said I have a quick question as well. That's not you, is it?
No, I'm not Dave.
You know, some people come in on somebody else's profile and it shows a different name, but that's not them. If the others don't read. But any other questions, guys?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Yeah, I had a quick question. With regards to physical property, let's say, for instance, I had a property. Can I make an NFT agreement with regards to that property, just to get that
Okay.
property title on the block?
I can just about hear you. So who am I speaking to?
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Who are you? What's your name?
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Okay, so this is Dave. So Dave, can you say what you're saying again, please?
So basically, let's say, for instance, I bought a house, or I'm selling my house, and I wanted to put that title on the blockchain. Reason why I'm putting the title on the blockchain is because it's kind of like authenticity. It shows who actually owns the house and the property. Can I make that into an NFT and put that, just to get that on the blockchain?
Okay, so you know what, Dave? I'm a property person. As part of one of the things that I've done, I've got my own property portfolio. And one of the things that I've been scratching my head about, I'll tell you something, is whether or not I can create an NFT out of my own property. Right now, I'm not going to give you the complete answer for that because I don't know the answer. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to tell you, right, is something that I feel, right, is now, can you create an NFT out of your property? I believe that somehow you can, right? Now, the question is, right, is the buyer, right, what's the buyer going to get, right? And how is that going to manifest in our traditional ways of buying and selling property? So let's take your use case. So at the moment, I have a buyer and I have a seller. So you as the buyer, you as the seller, you put your property on Rightmove. Let's assume that is a gallery, an NFT gallery. So let's assume that is now Openc, yeah, or Rarible. So Rightmove is now Openc. So I've put the picture of the property, and I've now put the description. I put a nice little video showing the picture, blah blah blah, and I've put it up for 1,000 ETH. Yeah, 1,000 Ethereum is equivalent to let's do a quick calculation. Sorry guys, I've got to do this just for the fun of it. So 1,000 ETH times 1,500 is, let's say, 1.5 million. Yeah, so I've done that. Now in the description, I've put an unlockable, right? So that unlockable is now gonna be a file, right, that is only going to be revealed to the person once they pay 1,500 ETH, right? So we're following so far, Dave, yeah? So now that unlockable now, right, has the following items in that file. It has your contact details, right, and a solicitor's document that says that the owner of this NFT token, right, is now the legal owner of property X, assuming that you haven't got a mortgage on this property, yeah? Right, so imagine now this property is fully paid for, it's in trust, right? So now property X is now owned by this legal, and this legal document, you've gone to a solicitor and you've done it properly. It's not no little handwritten document that you've just done off the back of a bit of paper. You've gone to your solicitor and said that the owner of this NFT token, which is now physically on the blockchain, is now going to be on that, right? Now we compare that to the land registry, right? So now at the moment, the land registry and the blockchain, let's assume they're the same things, but actually they're not, right? So to Andrew's point, as it's done now, right, when you buy the property, the solicitor fills out the details and it goes on land registry. Now, in theory, when I buy that NFT, I'm now going to receive that legal document to say that I'm the owner, right? You, Dave, are also going to say that what you're going to do is you're going to basically update the land registry as part of that contract to prove that that person is now the legal owner. So now I made all of that up, yeah? But in theory, it can be done. I'll tell you why. First of all, putting the property on the as an NFT, right, is like putting a picture or putting a video with a description the same way as you do on a Rightmove. Putting the price up for what you're selling it for is also the same. I put it up in Ethereum. Now, once that's sold, right, I can put an unlockable file which gives an actual contract, yeah, and that contract is essentially a contract that says, right, this is a legal contract written up by JJ solicitors that says the owner of this legal contract needs to send their details, right, so we can now pass ownership onto you via our solicitors. So you've now got that money. It's now for you, right, to put the to now go to your solicitors and now pass on the legal ownership and update land registry and then give the person the keys. Dave, how's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm following you.
You need to come closer to the mic, Dave.
Sorry, I've got like it's on a speaker. But yeah, I'm following you. I understand. Go on, carry on.
And to be honest, I don't see why that can't work. Because let's really look at that. Because at the end of the day, you have to have somebody that's going to buy it anyway. But let's assume that somebody came for the viewing and you said to them, right, no, the only way you can buy this is if you go and buy the exclusive NFT, right, of this property. And you know what, Dave? I love this. You know why? Because I so want to see this happen, right? I really do, right? Because I don't think there's a site that has an NFT site for property, and that would be brilliant. Yeah, so we might need to talk about this one. Yeah. House buying through crypto is already happening, but house buying through NFTs is new. I haven't seen a website that's doing that already. House buying through crypto is definitely happening. So going back to what we're saying, we put it on the NFT site, right? The buyer comes and they have your contact details in the description. You better pattern it quickly. Yeah, but I think it's probably done already, but we'll see. But great idea regardless. I'm laughing and smiling at the same time. But essentially now we buy the NFT, and essentially in that NFT, I now get an unlockable. That unlockable is a contract which has been written up by your solicitor, which is a proper solicitor and a proper legal property that says the owner of this NFT token, right? So don't forget that NFT token, you will have that in your wallet. So you can go to the solicitor now and say, here you go, here's the token. And then you also, as the seller, will have that money in your wallet. So you now have legal, not legal, but you now have proof of he's the owner of the token. I've now got the money. He's got the legal contract that you've written up with your solicitor. He's downloaded that. He can now take that to his solicitor, and your solicitor can do what needs to be done. Job done. So in theory, it can be done.
Okay, that sounds brilliant. The only reason why I asked is because I'm on quite a lot of WhatsApp groups, and the people that are on the WhatsApp groups, like in property WhatsApp groups, they don't really know anything about NFTs and cryptos and stuff like that. So yeah, it'd be really good to kind of just introduce this idea to them, because it's going to happen. You know, the whole purpose of blockchain actually stops a lot of fraudulent things from happening. You know, once it's on the blockchain, it's permanent and it's unchangeable. You know, so you can get around a lot of, well, basically you can't, there's a lot of things that you can't do as fraudulent stuff. I don't know if there is type of fraudulent things that you can do with regards to property, but it's very, very, very difficult to do fraudulent things with regards.
No, definitely. But what I would say is, I'm going to look at it in two ways. There's always going to be some sort of hacking. There's always going to be people that are going to try and do fraud. Let's not try and overlook that. But the whole blockchain principle, right? It makes it a lot more difficult for people to do that when the items are on the blockchain. Yeah, because the information is there and it can't be easily changed. So yeah, to your point, definitely. Now I think being a property person myself, so I run a couple of property groups. I've got a property group called Properties for Life, where all it is in there is basically people that own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties. And they're all, you know, landlords in their own right. Some of them are into the crypto, some of them are not. But I think, like you said, that whole world of NFTs, and this goes back to, I think, I can't remember who was it at the beginning, where it was one of the guys in the beginning said that NFTs are not just music and not just art. Yeah, it can be applied to anything given the right use case and analogy. Yeah, so in closing, an NFT, yes, it is a certificate of authenticity that you own that particular NFT or that particular token on the blockchain. What does it apply to? It can be applied to anything, essentially digital, or in some cases physical or collectible items. What are the markets at the moment? Yes, music is definitely a growing market. Art, traditional art, is a growing market. Videos, photography is a growing market. We've just mentioned property. We mentioned land right at the beginning. One of the guys said, you know, NFTs can be used to basically, you know, show authenticity and ownership of land. You know, so there's so many things that can be looked at. Side point: protect yourself for impending wealth tax for people who have assets more than 500k. Interesting. Yeah, that is a good side point on that one. Yeah, so many different little principles of the way that we can look into NFTs and what they can be used for.
Yeah, is there any way that we can get in touch with you just to obviously have a chat and see what happens and what?
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, on Instagram, you can contact me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Put It Online, which I've just put into the handle. And obviously, if you ping me on there, then we can obviously connect offline as well. Cool. So guys, is there anybody else that has any particular question on minting and any closing questions that they want answering? Cool. So Dawn, do you want to quickly close up for us before we end?
So can I just ask one really quick question?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I wasn't there at the beginning. Just wanted to ask if we have some music that we might have done in our younger years and got it sitting down there. Is that something you can just put up your own music and just put it up and leave it?
Yes. So NFTs, unreleased music. So one of the things that that some artists are doing, and they're doing it as to say, right, doing unreleased music and doing it as an NFT is definitely one to do. So I produce music myself. And as somebody who produces music, whether you produce the music or whether you are a beat maker, so I produce a lot of beats. And as a beat maker, believe me, if you know, you got 100 beats sitting there waiting for somebody to like it or waiting for someone to say, oh, I want that one. Sometimes that never happens. So you've got all these beats sitting there not doing nothing. And if you don't sell those, what do? What you can do is you can do beat packs, or you can release unreleased versions of your NFTs as an album. So I'm now talking to musicians and artists and producers of maybe taking how they can take some of their unreleased music, their unreleased beat packs or instrumentals, and making them into NFTs and putting them onto the NFT sites for resale. And if it sells, great. If it doesn't, you're not missing out on anything. And you can navigate which platforms you use, because obviously some platforms will be cheap to use and won't cost you anything to mint your NFT, versus others that may cost you money to mint.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Hey, Dawn, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was absolutely amazing. You know, your knowledge on this is just you know, outstanding. And I'm sure we all learned quite a lot tonight. So thanks again. Please contact Chris if you want further information. He did offer that if you want help with your first NFT, if you know that you're not going to use him all day, you know, and it's just a short time, then yeah, talk to him. If you find that you're going to need a few hours with him, then he might charge you a small hourly fee, you know, but, you know, the money that you're hoping to make from NFT is an investment. And we've got to be thankful for his time today. and continue to share that knowledge, Chris. I'm sure the blessings will come back to you in various other ways.
This work is by Kevin Tomlin, who is a music historian, artist, and art teacher.